Well, hello. It's Friday the 5th of June and today's thought for the day is Psalm 70. I'm Suzanne Hoslett. Psalm 70 reads, "Hasten, O God, to save me. Come quickly, Lord, to help me. May those who want to take my life be put to shame and confusion. May all who desire my ruin be turned back in disgrace. May those who say to me, 'Aha,' turn back because of their shame. But may all who seek you rejoice and be glad in you. May those who long for your saving help always say, 'The Lord is great.' But as for me, I am poor and needy. Come quickly to me, O God. You are my help and my deliverer. Lord, do not delay." For those of us who've been attentive to the Psalms we've looked at over the last few months, this psalm may sound familiar. There may be a feeling not of déjà vu, but of whatever the French is for, "I've read this or heard this somewhere before." Psalm 70 shows a distinct similarity. In fact, it is almost a complete repeat of the words we read at the end of Psalm 40, verses 13 to 17. Only one or two words are different, and both follow a plea from the psalmist to the Lord to rescue him from a slimy pit in Psalm 40 or a mire in Psalm 69. Looking back at the Psalm 40, which Graham brought to us on April the 16th, a long time ago now, Graham finished with a reminder to us that the Lord lifts us up from the pit, not once, but many times as we call to him, and that God is pleased to save us. And yesterday, at the end of Psalm 79, Graham reflected on verse 29, "That I am in pain and distress, may your salvation protect me." But what struck me as I read Psalm 70 is one of the differences with Psalm 40, the very first word. In the NIV, that word is in Psalm 70 is hasten, instead of be pleased to from Psalm 40. Hasten, the dictionary definition reads, to be quick to do something, to move or travel hurriedly, to cause something to happen sooner than it otherwise would. In verse 1 we read, "Hasten, O God, to save me. Come quickly, Lord, to help me." And in verse 5 we read, "But as for me, I am poor and needy. Come quickly to me, O God. You are my help and my deliverer. Lord, do not delay." The psalmist is in a hurry, wanting to chivvy the Lord along, to speed up the Lord's work, to rescue the psalmist and save him again from whatever the situation he's now got himself into. How many times do we find ourselves calling out, praying, pleading with the Lord to speed up, to do something that we want him to do in our timing, to help us, to produce a result that we want to see now? But the Lord's timing is perfect. Psalm 31 verse 15 reads, "My times are in your hands. Deliver me from the hands of my enemies, from those who pursue me." So often, when we don't see a movement of the Lord in our timing, we might question. We may even get desperate. But it is only when we look back and see the times in our lives where the Lord has moved, then we realise that he is in control, and he does know, and his timing is perfect. I also wonder whether we hasten to the Lord with each and everything that goes on in our own lives. Do we seek his face, his thoughts, involve him even in the mundane areas of our lives? How often do we carry on with our lives, the shopping, going to work, making plans for holidays, making plans at church? And it's only when things go wrong that we go to the Lord, and sometimes not even then. I remember a time when as a family we were in grave danger, and I really do mean grave danger. I remember my reaction to the unfolding situation. I felt myself becoming overwhelmed by the fact that I, as the adult in the situation, should be protecting the children present, but knowing that there was in fact nothing, absolutely nothing that I could do to help us, or any way that I could get us out of it. All that I found myself thinking and visualising that day were the possible outcomes, and none of them were good. And then one of the younger ones piped up, "Don't worry, Mum, I'm praying." And I went, "Oh, why didn't I think of that?" but God was in control, and God's timing was perfect. As we wait for the Lord to answer our prayers, we are reminded in Psalm 70 verse 4 that we must be a praising and worshipping people in every situation, a people who are proclaiming and declaring that the Lord is great. Verse 4 tells us, "But may all who seek you rejoice and be glad in you. May those who long for your saving help always say, 'The Lord is great.'" The Lord wants to be involved in every area of our lives. He wants us to walk with him, so much so that our prayers are his prayers, his desires our desires. He wants us to seek him every moment of every day, in the good times and bad, and in every situation, whatever we long for, to always be saying, "The Lord is great." And it's all right to say, "Hasten, O Lord," so long as we remember that he knows the right time.